Malawi is one of the most significant conservation success stories of the 21st century. It all began in 2003 when the Malawian Wildlife Authority and a NGO called African Parks decided to give the control of one of the national parks over to African Parks and to bring it back from the brink. It was such a success that in 2015, more national parks were handed over to African Parks in conjunction with the Malawian Wildlife Authority to bring wildlife back to Malawi. Pre-2015, there were 0 predators in Liwonde National Park. So since then, African Parks has used its network to introduce lion, cheetah and African wild dog to this ecosystem, and there are now a thriving population of these predators here. Black rhino were also relocated, and the population of black rhino in Liwonde has made a major bounce back. So it really is a magnificent story of bringing something back from the depths of despair. I'm Darren Donovan, a photo guide and host for C4 Photo Safaris, and today I'm coming to you from the beautiful Mvu Lodge in Liwonde National Park. This is an introduction to Liwonde National Park. So where are we going to start? What's the important information? Let's start with how you get here. So there are 2 ways of getting here. One, as you fly into Blantyre, and it's about a 3.5 to 4 hour drive through Malawi in the south up to Liwonde. The personal highlight for me on this particular trip is how we got here is the ending where you have to take a boat across the Shire River to the lodge, which is really a special introduction to this fantastic park. There are several charter flight options to get here as well. So you can land in Blantyre and then take a charter flight and land at the airstrip, which is merely a 5-minute drive from this lodge. Right, so seasons and times of the year. There are 3 seasons that we speak about in Liwonde. Like I mentioned before, it is a tropical climate. Right, so the 3 seasons are this: the hot and wet, the cold and dry, and the hot and dry season. So the hot and wet season is generally from mid-November through to April. So during this season is when the majority of rainfall is going to fall in Liwonde. It falls mostly in some very intense thunderstorms in the afternoon. So it can be very wet, it can be very muddy, and it is also quite hot, but with a high humidity. So take that into consideration. So the cool dry season is usually from May to the beginning of September. So these seasons are characterized by no rain, first things first, and mornings can be quite chilly. So around about 10 degrees Celsius, maybe even a little bit lower. So during this period, the grass starts to go down and the river levels start to drop. The hot and dry season is from September to mid-November. This is usually characterized by hot temperatures, there is no rain and high evaporation rate. But this is the peak time for wildlife viewing in Liwonde National Park. Depending on the time of year that you're in Liwonde National Park, what can you expect to photograph? So in the wet season, the hot wet season, Liwonde becomes an absolute bird paradise. Species like Allen's gallinule, little bittern, Dickinson's kestrels, they are incredible bird species here. The elephant and buffalo sightings are also really good in the wet season, as they still come down to the river to feed on the aquatic grasses that you find there. So predator sightings are a little bit low this time of the year, but they are definitely here. We've heard every night so far, lions relatively close to camp roaring. We've seen their spur in the morning. It's just a simple case of it's the hot wet season and we just weren't able to get to the areas that they were walking towards due to mud. However, in the 2 dry seasons, as the vegetation starts to drop, the water levels drop, that is when the hairies and scaries come out in this place. So this national park, little known, it's a little bit out of the way, but I can tell you that it is worth the experience making your way here, and especially here at Mvu with the setting that we have here along the Shire River. So I do hope that you've enjoyed this video and feel a little more educated about one of Africa's least known parks. So my name is Darren Donovan. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, leave a comment if you'd like, and we'll be sure to get back to you. Until next time, have a good one.